entrepreneur starts with potential, but its unwavering passion, resilience, and vision turn it into a powerhouse. Our next keynote delves into the entrepreneurial journey, the highs, the hurdles, and the relentless drive that transforms ideas into industry-leading ventures. Get ready for the insights that inspire bold action. Are you all ready? Yes. Our next keynote speaker is an author of a national bestseller. His book tells the untold story of the Indian IT revolution and its industry body NASSCOM, which transformed India's brand image. His book, The Maverick Effect, is now accessible through Gujarati and paperback versions in Hindi, and Marathi are coming soon. We also expect it to be on Audible. And this keynote speaker has won multiple awards across business and publishing categories. He's the founder of Onward Technologies Limited. Friends, let's welcome Mr. Harish Mehta on the stage.
Good morning, friends. After auditory speech by Murli, mine is going to be a conversational English type of speech. So be prepared for that change. Every time I land in Kolkata, somehow I'm used to saying in Gujarati, Kolkata, but every time I land in Kolkata, the warmth of people, it reminds me of a local saying which says, every crowded bus has a room for one more. So thank you, Kamal, for inviting me. Where is Kamal? All right. Thank you, Kamal, for inviting me. I will be spending next few minutes on, Kamal requested me that you talk about from rising east, how does it become, the east becomes a digital global hub. So I'll be sharing 3-4 thoughts in that direction. Food for thought for all of you, every one of you are present here, to reflect based on some of what I say, how does it make East region a global digital hub? And the 4 areas, or the 4 thoughts I have are in the areas of technology, entrepreneurship, which I will not spend much time since Murli has already talked about it, co-creation, and collaboration. Let's talk about the technology. I believe AI, for example, is a God-given gift to India. And I don't have to, every one of us, I'm sure, is an AI expert in one way or other. And we hear a lot about AI and its potential. Even just this week at San Jose, all hotels were booked for all 5 days, and some 25,000 developers descended. What was the event? NVIDIA's developer event. Now that shows the excitement and the enthusiasm behind AI. And whatever little I know that AI plus robotics plus blockchain plus biotech and many other technologies coming together has the potential to solve, I would say, India's most problems. I would like that technology to get ingrained into the, I would say, eastern region's life. What I mean by, say, starting from the government, if you have a healthcare as a department, it should be renamed as AI Health Tech. Education department should be renamed as AI Education Tech. So we have to inject technology all across. I'm a strong believer in that technology is no longer a tool, it's a growth engine. And I myself, as I'm a techno-optimist, partly because I have seen the NASSCOM, which started from my office in 1988, I have seen how NASSCOM changed IT industry. I have seen how IT industry changed India. And India, the country which was a snake charmer's country just 35 years back, today has emerged as a global tech powerhouse. And that tells me the impact of technology on a country like India, where fortunes of billion people change thanks to technology. So that has made me a techno-optimist, that AI has, with multiple technologies, it's like a bottle lightning for us. And it's the job of all of us here as entrepreneurs to make this lightning work in solving our problems. The second area I want to talk about is a little bit, I'll add on to what Murli said, is unleash entrepreneurship in the eastern region. Kolkata can act as a hub, and from Ranchi to Bhubaneswar to Guwahati to all other locations should be vibrant in terms of number of entrepreneurs who will solve problems. And again, I can, my experience from the last TiECON at Mumbai, I'll share some of those definitions which I learned. One was, of course, Dhandho first, means have a profitable unit. The second one was, when I had a fireside chat with Mr. Narayan Murthy, he talked about ethical foundation is absolutely must. The third one was innovation driven, which Murli talked about. And the fourth is align your business model with your society, community, country, social or economic needs. That's the definition of a startup or entrepreneurship should be focused on. And Murthy called it, use compassionate capitalism as a way of going ahead. So I'll give one example of what he meant by compassionate capitalism. When NASSCOM started, we were losing money at that time. And there were 50, 60 companies who were members of NASSCOM. And we all decided that whatever the loss is, we will all share. So at that time, I remember we had huge losses at that point in time. So 25,000 rupees per company, we all shared. Then suddenly, after a few months, we realized some more unexpected losses came in. Now what do? So that time, Murthy and Infosys offered that we will conduct a training program at Infosys campus on AS400. That was the technology at that point in time where there was a huge export services potential. We'll invite developers to come. We'll teach them. And whatever monies we receive, we'll contribute to NASSCOM. And would you believe he also allowed all his competitors, best talent, to come to his premises and train them? And not only train them, tomorrow same people will compete with him. That's his walking the talk. And he did it for the higher interest, in a sense that NASSCOM had to survive and had to be filled in that gap. And that's where I would say one of the aspects of compassionate capitalism, you can see it live happening. And that built a very strong, healthy foundation for NASSCOM in terms of fierce collaborators, competitors coming in on the platform. The third area I will talk about is replicating, I call it, or customizing, personalizing, the Maverick effect, the NASSCOM way of working. And what is NASSCOM way of working? Where fierce competitors come together work together to build, first of all, NASSCOM as an independent, neutral, trustworthy platform on which, with single voice, no personal agenda, the creative juice is flowing, solving industry problems, keeping India first. And that combination of skills gave India, or tech industry, 30% compounded growth over 30 years. Today it is 27.44% compounded growth. If you remember, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in the equity market, he would say, sir, I don't know how much time I have. The time is not moving. No, I'm just not moving there, so. It's okay, oh, sorry. No, I can speak for 45 minutes, so please. Sorry, where was I? I was talking about 30% compounded growth. So Rakesh Jhunjhunwala used to say that if you earn 18% compounded in equity, you are a king. If you, Atul Bhai is here, he would also endorse that. And if you earn 21% compounded, you are an emperor. And here the industry delivered 30% for 30 years. So why can't we replicate that way of working for Eastern region? That's the point I'm trying to make. So when you work together and it's a new, trustworthy, you can say, platform, the creative juices are flowing to solve India's problems. What one does is he looks at the far into the future and then folds the future back in. For example, when we saw that tech waves are coming and each wave will require 100,000 engineers, the next wave may need 300,000 engineers. And when employable engineers were hardly 50,000 from the various colleges. So how do you build that base? So industry wrote or drafted the IT policies of 20 states. So when the waves came, many universities were ready with the engineers, I would say the raw material available for industry to recruit. When industry entered almost 75 countries in the world, realized that existing education system, that is IITs and the regional engineering colleges, are not going to produce the global managers that the industry needs, especially IT-driven. And that's where, working with the government, triple IIT as a model was born. And today we have 25 triple IITs in action in the country. When Copyright Act had to be modified to add word software, because in those days, when we used to meet a prospect, the prospect would look at us as a thief. Because in India, we believe in right to copy and not in copyright. So with that sort of a mindset, how do we change India Inc. brand? So first thing we said we need to do is change the Copyright Act and add the word software. Now, those were the days when even one bureaucrat asked us, where is our Kohinoor? So you say Tower of London. Where is our jewelry? X, Y, and Z. So they say for 200 years, Britishers have looted us. Now it's our time to loot them. We must allow piracy rampantly. So that was the mindset industry was up against. Anyway, we found certain, I would say, bureaucrats who were in favor of our industry. They agreed to bring in the change. But now we realize there will be a serious change, I would say, debate at both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It's a very, I would say, ticklish issue. That time, industry gave presentations to every political party, 15 political parties. So it sailed through smoothly, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So that is the power of collaboratively working of ecosystem players together. Imagining the future, folding it back, working as an action plan, and you see the results coming out. And the last point I want to make is co-creation. And the classic case is Satyam, where many of you may remember that when the Raju admitted the fraud and the letter came out in the paper, there was a debate internally at NASSCOM, should we save Satyam or not? There was one view that it is auditor's job, independent director's job, shareholder's job. Why should we worry about saving a company? Somebody said, no. If Satyam collapses, the customers will which they were supporting globally, they'll also be on the road, and they have millions of customers who are using their services. They'll be on the road. So industry realized the seriousness of how India Inc. brand would be hurt badly. And maybe if those customers are on the road, customers are on the road, industry wouldn't even survive. India would get such a bad name. So at that time, industry worked with the bureaucrats. Bureaucrats didn't know how to even take over a company to save Satyam. They had to take the political leadership's help. Okay, should we do it or not? They got yes from the political leadership saying, yes, we should save Satyam. Bureaucrats worked together and they came back to the industry saying, we will need some time to save Satyam. To come up with all the changes in the processes for us to take over. And about a month it will take. Can industry help us? So as an industry, we sat together and we decided that no one proactively will recruit any senior manager from Satyam, and no one will proactively go after any Satyam's customer. It's unheard in the world, this kind of case study. Normally when a company is collapsing, Others go like a vulture, attack and take away the best parts of it. That's the typical marketing way of doing it. Here, industry looked at the long term, realized India Inc. brand. Of course, one of us also said in that our conversation, Atul may even remember, that this is a golden time for me to grow my business. Why should I follow you? But hopefully, or we believe that collective wisdom prevailed on him and Satyam was saved. And it became a huge success story from the perspective of India Inc. brand. And this is again an area where politicians, bureaucrats, and the industry worked together and co-created future for India. Same thing, and now this happened in a crisis time. My recommendation to all of you would be, why should Eastern region wait for the crisis to happen? Why can't you proactively work with these three groups and co-create future for the Eastern region? And my dream would be, if in Silicon Valley, orchards can become startup companies, if a snake charmer's country can become a global tech powerhouse, a sleepy city where retired people would go and stay, Bangalore has become a startup hub of India. Why can't the sun that rises in the east here become a digital sunrise for everybody? Thank you.
Harish, please stay on the stage. May I now invite Kolkata past president, Mr. B. Hari, on the stage to facilitate Harish Mehta, sir. Most of us have heard the word compassionate capitalism, but we've seen it unconsciously, and today we had the opportunity to understand it. The stories shared by Mr. Harish Mehta, they give an altogether new perspective about the India brand, the IT industry and its evolution. A big round of applause for him. As I always say, तालियां बजाने में कंजूसी कैसी, अपनी calories burn हो रही हैं. Thank you so much, Mr. B. Hari and Harish Mehta, sir, for sharing those inside stories and giving us that perspective.